Hello there, Suruchita here. I'm going to cover some fundamentals again, and I'm going to look at something from Cherry Huber. I'm going to read something and then we'll explore it. Sitting meditation is the heart of Zen practice of meditation. Zen actually means meditation. Sitting still but alert, with the attention focused on the breath, we can experience awareness of things as they are, including our suffering, in noticing the shift back and forth between simply being present to our experience and then imagining something different. Get it? We're here. Life is just the senses. But what do? What do? We imagine something different, something better, something worse. And this fills up a lot of our time. Wishing for life to be other than it is, we see how our minds operate in ways that cause us to suffer. We also see how unnecessary this suffering is. So we distinguish between suffering and pain. Pain is just the physical, the first dagger. Suffering is what we add to it. That's what falls away. So, see, for me, the simplicity of practice is it's where its beauty is. There's something beautiful about simplicity and elegance. Two words that I use a lot in relation to meditation. Just notice the screen now, or notice the sounds. There's a real simplicity, isn't there? Or your contact, notice your contact with the chair. Or the feeling of hunger. Nothing complicated about it. It's as simple as that. But we complicate it. We complicate it because we've got clever minds. Mindfulness isn't educational. It isn't an education. It's transformational. It's about transforming your life, about transforming my life, transforming our lives. That's what it is. It's not an education program. What we're being educated in is ourself. So mindfulness is both a practice where we look at ourselves, we observe ourselves and seeing who we are, how we are, but it's a container for our life. That's what it is. It contains our life. Awareness. It's like a big container, it's like a big open space of awareness. That's what contains our life. And this container doesn't have limits. It's boundaryless, unbounded. But we don't need to go there right now. For our work, we use this very simple awareness to observe ourselves. Observe yourself in your daily life. When you're angry with somebody, when you want to please somebody, when somebody's complimented you and you feel good, when you've complimented somebody else. When you want to compliment somebody and you talk yourself out of it. Cherry Huber. We must appreciate the irony of sitting in meditation and making a plan to develop awareness at some future time. When we catch ourselves doing that, depending on how disidentified we are from ego, we can chuckle over it. Have you ever chuckled in meditation? See what the mind gets up to? It's fascinating. It's fascinating. No wonder I'm bonkers. I spent 5 years looking at a white wall, and what that white, when I was in a meditation centre, what that white wall really was a mirror. Just reflected back all that was going on in here. The craziness. then we can remember that the best preparation we can make for another time and place is to drop everything else and be present in this moment. So the best thing you can do about your future life, your future self, your future life in a year's time, what's the best thing you can do? Is to be present now. But as I mentioned in the last, or in a previous video, we get into hoping. That takes us away from now. If you want an apple tree next year, you plant the seed now. So when we're present, we're planting seeds, helpful seeds. We're planting, creating the capacity to be here now. Jerry, a safe place to practice developing that faith is sitting meditation. When we are on the cushion, nothing much is going on except what conditioned mind brings to the experience. We all know how it works. We are right here in the moment, and there is a sense of well-being, clarity, even insight. Then in comes the conditioning, and suddenly things are wrong. We need things to be different. We are off somewhere else. So we're just listening to the sound of a bird or traffic, or feeling the out-breath. And suddenly we're in a drama. And it's this and it's that. And then we tense up. All our unconscious thinking tenses the body. There are also times when something goes through the mind and there is no need to think about it or compare it to anything or to have an opinion about it. We simply let it go. We let it be. We don't interfere. The attention stays with the breath in peace and with clarity. Through repeating that process, we prove to ourselves that when we drop everything and come into this present, what we need is right here. We don't actually need much. This is what we do. This is what we practice in meditation. So let's just do that for a few minutes. And close your eyes or not, or rest your gaze on the floor in front. And we choose an object to place our attention on. Often it's the breath. So let's take the breath. Not a special kind of breath. It does not be spiritual breath or our meditation breath. It's the breath, the everyday breath. That's it. Just feeling the breath. Easy. Nothing to do. You notice your thoughts. When you notice them, just let them go. Return your attention to the breath. You then become aware of the breath rather than attention on the thoughts. And notice how you want to get into a narrative, you want to spin a little drama, have an opinion, think about some scenario, something that might happen, and we notice that and return back to what's real. And as we allow ourselves to come out of all our thinking and into the present moment, a certain disentanglement happens. We become less tangled with our thoughts, with our narratives, with our dramas. Because when we're caught up with our thinking, it tangles us up. We get tangled up with it all. They confuse us. We don't need to actually do much thinking. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.